My name is Joe Public, I'm sure you all know me.
Hi lunatics, just came across this video. You can see the two people in there, John Apter and Martin Hewitt. It's about 20 minute long video, but I've cut the bit out that I found sort of in the public interest. But I'll leave the full link to the video in the description. And I think that's probably all I need to do, yeah. Anyway, right, they're talking about body cam footage in this part. And from what I can sort of see what they're on about, it comes across to me as though they're sort of trying to stop, or they don't want people with their cameras filming them. Because they're going about, you know, people post a clip of someone, or a police constable, you know, just, I don't know, beating the shit out of someone. And they don't want that put out there because it's not in context of what's really going on. So they say. I mean, obviously there are videos where the police are well within what they're doing. You know, they're not actually doing anything wrong. But there's a shitload of, you know, we see it all the time. People getting battered in the head for no reason. Things like that. You know, detained under the Terrorism Act. Things like that. We all know, anyway. So, but it seems like what this John Apter sort of says is kind of like, you know, they don't want to be recorded doing their job. Why not? Why are they so scared? We all know the answer to that anyway, but I'm going to have to sort of pause this like at bits. But like I said, the full video will be in the description. This kind of wound me up anyway. Anyway, let's play it and see what happens.
What body-worn videos actually show is how professional our colleagues are, and also the level of malicious
Bullshit.
complaints that they are subject to. So body-worn video, it protects them on the street. It allows for swift justice. But I've written to you recently about how forces can and should do more about releasing body-worn footage where they're able to do. And look, I will say I completely accept this is not easy, and one size certainly doesn't fit all. But what we are seeing more and more is that members of the public, whether well-intended or not, I would say very often not, they are releasing they are releasing camera footage that they are taking of an interaction between police officers and themselves on the street. Very short snippets of information, and they're putting it out on social media, which is then attracting an awful lot of hostility and anger.
That's not what I've seen, and plenty of you lot have probably seen it as well. That it doesn't matter if it's in like a small snippet. It's, you know, police beating the shit out of someone, detaining them and also arresting them. Public order offence when they've not even done anything, they're just filming in public. Terrorism Act, detaining people because they're filming in public. And then, you know, there's the other ones where, you know, someone might be out their flat window and just film the police doing something. We all know that, like, this bloke, John Apter, talks absolute shit anyway. I probably might get a little bit angry in this video. But basically, you can see where this is going. It's almost like they're sort of suggesting that there should be a ban on police being filmed by members of the public. But anyway, let's carry on.
From the public. And actually, when you look at what is being shown, you can understand why. The context is not there. Yeah. So what's your view on where we should be a bit more proactive? And I think we are getting better, but it's very slow at getting that body-worn footage out there where it is legally possible to do.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, this is...
Right. Well, I'm not going to mention the police force. but there's a certain police force that literally are denying me any freedom of information, and also body-worn camera footage and CCTV footage. Anything I request is denied because they're saying it's malicious. Why would they want to deny that? Just send it out to me and it might go online, possibly. But if it shows them doing their job properly and everything, why would they not want me to put that online, showing them in a good light, if you know what I mean? So
this is a phenomenon now that we've got to deal with. I mean, when you and I were routinely wandering around streets and driving around streets, none of this was happening, and it was something that was completely not in our sphere of concern. But we're in a position now where we are increasingly seeing, as you say, bits of footage appearing. They go absolutely viral on social media, and you're starting to get officers, their forces, incidents pilloried. And I can only imagine how hideous that must be if you are that officer who's just gone on and done what you were doing, and then this is suddenly there, and you're now the centre of, not just in some cases social media, you're now on the news being filmed doing your job. So we have.
right, well, hold on. So he's just saying that it gets into the newspapers and stuff, and on social media goes viral for the police constable doing their job. Why would it get in the news? Obviously, I mean, we've all seen the videos, like where police just basically attack people for no reason, use extreme force when they don't need to. Yeah, I mean, I could go on, but he's saying that they're just doing their job. I can't see how that would go viral. If they're just doing their job and they're doing everything right, then it wouldn't go viral, would it? And it wouldn't get in the news, would it? Fucking idiot.
Got to respond to that, and I agree entirely. The point for me is around just making sure we get that balance right, and that we don't do something that makes situations worse or causes other difficulties. Of course, there are on occasion some legal issues or issues around where there might be ongoing, investigations and so on, and we need to be really clear about that. But what we absolutely need to do is be as proactive as we can be about countering. So in the first instance, I think one of the things, even if you can't get the body-worn video out, you can, and we've seen this in a number of places, where you can get a very senior person who watches that body-worn video and puts themselves out there saying, I have watched that and I am satisfied.
There you go. So, like the police investigate themselves, don't they? With the independent complaints people, which are not independent, as we all know. But he's saying there that instead of giving it to the victim of the police force, a senior officer will look at it and then basically go, without releasing it, and no one else gets to see it, just this certain person, senior person, gets to look at it and go, no, nothing happened. So they're basically, what they're pretty much saying here, is this way I'm taking it, is they want to not release any body-worn, even though it supposedly shows the police doing the right thing, which they said a minute ago. But now they're sort of saying they don't want to release it, but someone else can watch it and go, oh no, our constables did nothing wrong. You know what I mean? That's bullshit.
Which at least takes away some of that, in a situation where you can't actually put the body worn out. We just need to get a kind of clear set of kind of guidance around that, about what the dangers are, because there are dangers of doing that, but equally what the positives are and where you can be really creative. And we've asked Chief Constable Andy Marsh from...
Creative? That's a bit weird word to use.
From Avon and Somerset, and Andy has done a lot and been quite a pioneer, in fact, around the use of body-worn video and the use of technology for a number of years. And Andy is doing a review on our behalf, along with the College of Policing, who obviously owns some of the standards, to pull together a package that we will share with all chief constables to make it very clear about where the parameters are, and again, being really creative about it. And I think there are some things that we can do. Definitely post any kind of process, we should be proactively going out and showing video where it may have previously been utilised. One of the other points doesn't directly get to the social media point, but is around really pushing body-worn video being shown, and this links you back to the officer safety, body-worn video being shown in trials when it demonstrates the behaviour that the officers have had to put up with. When we've had officers assaulted, and then you'll get the defence.
Yeah, so it's basically what you're saying there is when it shows like some dickhead that has been a cunt to the police, fair enough. He wants to be able to show that. But when it comes to police constables maybe assaulting or doing illegal searches or whatever, then they want a senior officer just to look at that and then go, no, the police didn't do anything wrong. And it won't get released to anyone. So... yeah, so this is like, they're just like deciding what, what goes where. The fucking dirty cunts, these people.
And goes guilty, and the court say, well, we don't need to see the video. We must be getting that out there in those instances and making sure that everybody sees precisely what it is that day in, day out, our officers are out there, and staff sometimes, but they're out there having to deal with what they're having to deal with. So I entirely understand where you're coming from. Myself and Mike Cunningham from the College of Policing have jointly replied to you. Your letter has been supported in a letter I've received from the Home Secretary, as you know, and we've replied to her, and I've had a discussion directly with her about this. So we are moving that through. I know you have had you're going to have or have had a conversation with Andy Marsh. I think there's a real opportunity for us here to get some really clear guidance out quickly to people that make sure everyone understands the kind of parameters in which they're operating. But equally, I think it's about the mindset, which is we're going to do whatever we can do positively to counter some of the nonsense that we see. And then
So he's calling people recording when they see an interaction or if they have an interaction with the police, he's calling that nonsense. Or am I missing the point here? But seems to me he is. So he's basically sort of demeaning members of the public that record the police and then possibly put it online. But he's calling that nonsense. Lovely bloke, isn't he?
But then we'll also use it where appropriately, particularly when it's about our officers being assaulted. But this is... it's a hideous phenomenon, quite frankly, that affects a number of people publicly, but particularly our officers. And, it as I said at the beginning, none of this existed when you and me were out and about.
It's a hideous phenomenon. What, being recorded doing your job? Why is that hideous? Fucking bloke. Hideous phenomenon. What a cunt.
Regularly working on a shift, never had to think about everybody filming everything we are doing. And certainly, even just going back to, 18 months ago when I was still...
Why are they so worried? Why do they call it hideous? Like, filming everything you do. But you're on about wearing body cams as well at the same time when you're filming the members of the public. But they don't like being filmed. If they do their job properly, there'd be shitloads of videos, wouldn't there, of really, YouTube channels of like the police doing their job properly on film, wouldn't there? Yeah, but what they're trying to, I don't know what they're trying to do here, but they're trying to kind of make it like almost like a wrong thing to be doing, filming the police. But yeah, anyway, let's carry on. Fucking cunts. I do swear a lot, don't I?
Back in the Met, in parts of London where almost every interaction that police officers are having with communities, someone or many people are filming, and the kind of pressure that puts in, we've got to recognise. But that, again, all these things are linked.
Oh, the pressure of I'm being filmed, I better do my job properly. Right, okay.
It links us back into the officer safety work, and it links us back into the well-being and
Wouldn't someone filming the police doing like an arrest or something, if they're doing it properly, the officer safety issue, which is widely used in America, isn't it? Would that not be helping the police if they're filming, someone's filming them, and then maybe the person they're trying to arrest stabs them or something? Someone's got that on film, haven't they? So that wouldn't that be a good thing? I would have thought it would be. Wouldn't that be helping the officers' safety?
All of that side, because we've got to make sure we're supporting our people properly when they find themselves either in a localized way or in.
Well, I had to stop that again there. Our people, he just said, didn't he? Our people. So you can see the division between members of the public are not his people, but only his people are police, definitely.
In some cases, hideously, in a kind of national sense, being criticised on the basis of a short clip of film and by people who weren't there and don't necessarily understand what they're even watching. So it is a really big issue for us. It's recognised as a very big issue. We've had discussions, and as I say, Andy Marsh, Chief Constable Andy Marsh, is doing that bit of work on our behalf, and I'm confident we'll get a good product that we can then make sure that every Chief Constable has got and is utilising in his or her force.
Yeah, I'm really grateful, and the way that you've responded to my request has been really positive, boss. And I just want to make it clear, I completely accept that we cannot just carte blanche release every bit of body-worn footage. I appreciate legally we can't do that, and sometimes that might not be in the interest of due process. Yeah. But you talk about the impact on officers, and just as an example, and certainly for people...
What, so they can't release body cam footage that might go against due process? Oh, right, okay.
Watching this, my colleagues, it will come as no surprise, but I spoke with two officers who had been subject to this camera in their face, and they were doing what they'd been trained.
They always use that. Why have you got a camera in my face? I mean, I put a video up, was it last night? And it shows that police constable walking from quite far away and then walking up to my camera when I was well away, and I was also on private property. And he says, why have you got a camera in my face? And they always use that excuse when you could be stood really far away with maybe like a zoom lens, but they'll walk up to you and go, get the camera out of my face. You know, they're fucking, oh God, here we go.
To do. There's no misconduct. They've done nothing wrong.
Yeah.
The way that they and their families have been treated by the media and by some members of the broader public has been a disgrace. And those officers have questioned whether they want to stay within policing. And they're good people. They're good people.
Why would, if they were just doing the job and they didn't do anything wrong, I doubt it would have been going viral. I doubt it would have got into the media, and I doubt people would be giving them shit. I don't know who he is actually on about here, but camera never lies, really, does it? So if they're beating the shit out of someone or whatever the fuck they were doing, you know, I don't really believe what this fucking prick is saying.
Doing a good job, and thankfully and rightly so, the force have wrapped their arms around them and given them support right up to Chief Constable level. But we just need to show that we are pushing back a bit, because what body-worn cameras have shown, they have shown how transparent we are. And look, we don't always get things right, because policing is complex and it's tough and it's difficult. But the times that we are shown as or purported to have done things wrong, very often we haven't. So I'm really grateful for your response, and I know we can work together on this, and I think something positive will come out of it. So I am grateful. Thank you.